Welcome to your weekly moment of inner alchemy. Hope you all are having a beautiful day. Lovely to be here with you. And let's dive right in. Got to bring up my chart. It went to a different app. Give me one moment. Okay. So here is the drawing for today. It's a bit complex, I have to say. And it took a while for me to actually get any information. I was drawing for a bit before kind of the words started to come through. But I would love to hear what you think and what you see. So feel free to share your reflections in the comments. There's a lot of pale colors in there too, but I did post it in the Inner Alchemy Facebook group so you can really get a more accurate image of it. Okay, so this is what came through. Who is the one talking in your head? Who is the one seeing through your eyes? Who is the one speaking with your tongue? Who is the one? If you listened to the one not speaking, if you saw with the eyes behind the ones you're looking with, if you spoke the voice of your heart, what would you hear, say, or see? The one talking, seeing, and saying is who you believe yourself to be. If you were not that, who would you be? Okay, let me show you the drawing again. Oh, hi, nice to see you. Okay, love from Sam's. Okay, so those simple questions and statements kind of came through with this really complex, convoluted drawing today. Okay, so we have the orchestra already. Okay, who is the one talking in your head? Okay, it's really interesting. There was a little video I saw not too long ago where there are some people that don't have those running dialogues in their head. I'm not one of those. I've never met someone who doesn't have that, but if you are, that would be very interesting to have a conversation with you. But, we usually have this kind of tape that's playing on a loop all the time in our heads, crawling out of the swamp. Oh, yeah. Okay. I can see that. Okay. So I don't know if you've ever stopped to pause and notice who was the one talking in your head. A lot of times it's, the voice of your parents, whomever. You know what I'm talking about here. But if we actually start to pay attention to our inner dialogue, this is what's running the show. Okay, we have these tapes that are on play all the time, constantly going on. Okay, so who is that voice? Where is that coming from? Who is the one seeing through your eyes? Who is the one seeing through your eyes? Just pause for a moment and gaze through your eyes like you normally do, and then ask yourself this question: who is the one seeing through my eyes? And notice what happens. Notice what happens to your gaze, to your awareness when you ask yourself these questions. Okay, maybe you're having an inner dialogue going on while you're listening to me talk. Who is the one that you're hearing? So ask yourself when you're noticing the dialogue, who is the one talking? And you might even get an answer or two. Who is the one speaking with your tongue? There's a lot of times where I notice myself, I'm actually witness to myself saying things. It's this kind of out-of-body experience where I hear myself telling a story to somebody, and I'm noticing myself repeating this story to different people. So it's an interesting place to be when you're witnessing yourself having an experience, witnessing yourself communicating. So if you're aware of that, who is the one speaking? If you can witness yourself while you're speaking, who is the one who's actually speaking? Okay, so who is the one? Now, if you listen to the one not speaking, okay, so pay attention to maybe some thoughts that are going on in your mind right now. Okay, you might even hear like a running dialogue going on. Okay, now if you can take your inner listening and listen behind that, or listen, like if you were going behind a curtain and you were listening to what was behind the curtain, what do you hear? Okay, so you can actually direct your listening just the same way that you direct your awareness and your gaze and your thoughts. You're directing your listening to behind the thoughts, and notice what happens. These are really powerful practices. If you could just spend like a week or two doing just one of these, it would change a lot of things for you. Paying attention to your inner dialogue is something that I encourage my clients to do on a regular basis. Because a lot of times it's these stories that we are telling ourselves that are the ones that are running the show, these subconscious programs that are creating our current reality. And in order to start changing that, we have to create a new dialogue and new stories that we're telling ourselves. So if we're having a dialogue, a running dialogue in our head that's not very kind to ourselves, we need to stop it in the bud. We need to nip it in the bud, and we need to stop it in the moment, and we need to think of something better, even if it's just a little bit better. Okay, I don't expect people to go from 0 to 60, but if you can go from 0 to even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and change your thoughts and your running dialogue just that much, it's enough to kind of wash away. These positive vibrations are so powerful. They can transform these unwanted ones with a lot more ease and effortlessness. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes your repeated focus and awareness to bring your thoughts to something that are more desirable. Either way, you are experiencing your own mind, the unwanted thoughts versus the wanted ones. And it's really up to you to choose in each moment what you would prefer to experience. And when you begin to have that discipline in redirecting your awareness to the more preferable thoughts, then you're going to start to feel different. You're going to start to feel better, and you're going to start to experience the world show up to you differently, because the world is only reflecting back to how you're thinking and feeling. It's the dominant vibration. So when you begin to spend some time just paying attention to what they are without any criticism, really just be compassionate to yourself when you start to notice these things. I know it can be very painful. It was painful for me when I started to really recognize some of the really, unkind things that I would feel about myself, but it brought me to a really profound state of compassion. And so I just invite you to hold that state of compassion when you start to pay attention to the thoughts that you're having. And then just say, how do I want to feel? How would I prefer to feel right now? What would I prefer to think about this? And then do that. And yes, you might go back immediately afterwards on the next roundabout to the unwanted thought again, but then just redirect your awareness and your thoughts to where you want it to go. Okay, that's what's happening. It's like you have your driver's permit, and each time you do that, you're getting into the driver's seat of your own life, taking command of your thoughts and your feelings. And in doing so, you can begin to create the life you desire by taking command of your vibrational state. And this has an impact on your entire life, your health, your well-being, your relationships, your finances. It affects everything because everything is connected. But we can start, opening the door to just one of these simple practices. So paying attention to your inner dialogue, listening behind the thoughts, pull your inner listening behind the curtain and hear what's there. Okay. And if you spoke the voice of your heart, this is another practice that I love to do. I notice myself especially when I'm having a difficult conversation, where I'm coming from. And I take a moment and see if I can speak from my heart with anybody that I come into contact throughout the day. So there's a different place that you come from. We We perceive tone in another person. It doesn't matter what the words that they're saying, right? There's an energy and an emotion and a feeling that we perceive from their tone and their body language and all of these signals that we're picking up on the subconscious subliminal level. We are also broadcasting that to another. So when we can take responsibility and accountability for what we are transmitting and broadcasting, think of how it's affecting all of those around you in a positive way. You can have massive global impact by making these subtle shifts. I'm all about, just subtle shifts and fine tuning to have massive impact. It doesn't take much. It's tuning the awareness. Okay. It uses like what I talk about as awareness acupuncture. You're just finely tuning the needle. Okay. So if you spoke the voice of your heart, what would it say? And it can be very uncomfortable in the beginning when you start to do that. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. And you know how it feels when someone is communicating to you from that place. So wouldn't you want to be the person who can impart that feeling onto another, right? Give unto others. So the one talking, seeing, and saying is who you believe yourself to be. Okay, we're running on autopilot most of the time, but when we can begin to bring awareness to our thoughts, to what we perceive, to how we feel, to how we act, it is a game changer. You get to rewrite the script of your life into the one that you desire. You begin to be the architect of your life. You begin to be in command of your life. You are no longer subject to it. Okay, things are not happening to you, they're happening through you and from you. You are the conduit and the vessel for life to move through. Okay, so if you were not that, if you were not who you believed yourself to be, who would you be? So I just invite you to, just drop into any one of those practices this week and notice what happens. Just take one. Just take one. Right? And each time you do it, it brings you to a new place each time. Okay, so wherever you are, just notice your body, notice your breath. Notice, are you breathing you? Or are you being breathed by you? Is the breath breathing you, or are you breathing yourself? Is there an effort to the breath, or is there a naturalness and an effortlessness to the breath? Just notice. And then just invite yourself to allow that breath to come all the way into the belly. There you go. Just invite yourself. When we invite ourselves, there's no effort. We're opening the door to receive ourselves. To receive the light of who we are, to receive the spirit of who we are, to receive the energetics of who we are, the subtle of who we are, the multidimensional aspects of self. So we're just opening the door and inviting ourselves in. There you go. Beautiful. And invite yourself into the belly. Invite your breath and your awareness to the belly. We're going to spend some time here today. Just a few minutes. Really help you stay connected. A lot of people I've noticed lately are really losing their ground. A lot of people are falling. A lot of people are unaware of their surroundings, are unaware of their feet. So we're just going to anchor ourselves within. There we go. So that same opening, that same invitation to the breath, open that belly up to receive it. You can put your hands there so you can feel your belly opening to receive your breath. There you go. And there's just a gentleness and an effortlessness here. There you go. And just open and invite yourself in even more. It's like you've opened the door and you're welcoming yourself and you've stepped over the threshold. Now invite yourself into your home, into your body. into your home. Invite yourself in. And notice how you feel when you step inside the home that is you. What does that space feel like? What does your home feel like that you've invited yourself into? There you go. And begin to invite yourself in a little bit further. Take a look around the space that you're in. Is there a hallway? Is it an open floor plan? Okay, just take a look around with your mind's eye. Maybe it's someplace ancient and familiar. Maybe it's someplace from another lifetime that you're remembering right now. There you go. How does the floor beneath your feet feel as you begin to enter the sacred space that is you? What sounds do you hear? How does your body feel being here? There you go. I hear running water. I hear some bells in the background. What do you notice? Now you are your own guide here, so allow you to guide you further inside this sacred space that is you, this home. What's the next room you're going to walk into? And then go there and invite yourself in. Beautiful. Someone just dropped deeply into the belly there. Okay, and notice your breath in this place. And stay here a moment. Sometimes we want to keep moving because it feels uncomfortable. But let's move where we are. And by that I mean just breathe. We're still moving. Beautiful. And once you feel yourself kind of acclimate to this part of your home, of your sacred space, then allow you to guide you to the next space, to the next room, to the next area. There you go. Beautiful. I feel you feeling more comfortable now. It feels very familiar and even emotional being here, like a homecoming. Notice the breath and notice the body. Beautiful. And continue to explore. And there's going to be a room in this home, in this sacred space that is you, that you are guiding you to. So allow yourself to take you there, to this innermost sanctum, or the room that you are drawn to at the moment. And there will be a place for you to lie down and rest comfortably. So find your way there with your awareness and your breath. Allow your awareness and your breath to guide you to that space. There you go. Beautiful. And notice how this room appears to you. For me, I'm noticing half of the space looks like a library with books from floor to ceiling, and I've always wanted a room like that. But only half of the space is like that. Notice what your space is like, and then just find a place to rest comfortably. Beautiful. Now, once you've done that, there's actually a download or energetic movement that's happening. Kind of an alignment or an upgrade. There's some spinning energy that I'm tracking around the crown area. And there's also a cleansing that's happening. So there's some old energies that are leaving here, making space for some new ones coming through. Some memories also are connected with this, ancient ones. DNA blueprinted ones on your heart's light. There you go. Quickening of information and insights and epiphanies will be forthcoming in this next few days for you. And it sounds like there's also clear directives that you're getting as well. One of the ones I'm hearing is don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. So as this energetic kind of balancing and reorganization is happening, I'm going to bring in the chimes and allow this to continue, and just notice how you feel. In this sacred space that is you. The wisdom of the chimes. So I was seeing all the different lifetimes that you've had, right? All the different incarnations that are happening simultaneously, and your soul kind of at the center of these lifetimes. Okay, so there was this big, beautiful orb of light, and then these smaller orbs like a necklace around that, which represent each of your lifetimes. And some of the connection, the conduit, the channel between the embodiment and the soul were a lot cleaner and clearer. And you were able to hear the guidance from your soul self much more easily. And I also saw each of these different lifetimes having their own gifts. So when you combine all the lifetimes that you've had, all the embodiments and all the incarnations, you have access to all of these gifts. It's not just the ones that you have in this lifetime. You have access to all of it. And then it took me to the oversoul, and the oversoul, and then to the monad, to the one. So you have access to everything. And gosh, I hope I'm explaining it as what I was seeing. It's kind of tricky sometimes to explain these images and these messages. But essentially, it's like the connection was clear. Your connection is clear. Your connection is clear now, and your connection is clear in these other lifetimes. And when you harness all of that, all of those gifts of who you are, then it's like, then there's this huge, I'm going to say, awakening of the self, this remembrance, this awakening of who you really are. You're not imprisoned by who you believe yourself to be, and you have access to your power, and you're able to kind of come into a universal balance almost. It feels like it's not karmic, but there's a universe, there's like it's a unity. is what it is. It's a unity. There's a unification that happens with the self. And that's the awakening, is the unity of self and awareness and consciousness with who you are. There's no more separation. When you move about this realm, you feel connected to life. You understand your part in the cycle of things. You understand your connectedness to your other embodiments and incarnations. You understand your connectedness to the one, and that you are an individual expression of that greater consciousness, and you are the conduit for that life to move through you, and you welcome yourself home. It's about unity. So I hope you have a beautiful week, dear ones. I thank you for coming together with me to harmonize the nature of oneself. And I do invite you to practice any one of the things that we spoke about. Practice seeing, practice listening, practice speaking from the heart, okay? And see what happens. Just allow yourself to go there each day, and it will be a game changer. It doesn't take much. It's these slight shifts in awareness that have massive impact in your life and the lives of those around you. Blessings, dear one. Thank you again for coming with me to harmonize the nature of oneself for your weekly moment of inner alchemy. If you enjoyed these sessions and you're watching them on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. This light is meant to shine through me for you. And if you want to share this light with others, please feel free to do so. And I will see you next week. Blessings, everyone.